Did you know there are ancient stories that reveal the Buddha's past lives, known as the Jataka tales? These enchanting tales illustrate the karmic journey a soul takes through countless lifetimes to attain enlightenment. This is a story of the Buddha's previous life, when he was a majestic white elephant named Silava. Once upon a time, in a lush Himalayan forest, there lived a magnificent white elephant named Silava. White elephants were believed to be divine, intelligent creatures with emotions like humans, and they could also speak in human language. Silava was a kind and gentle soul, loved by all the creatures in the forest. One day, while wandering through the forest, Silava heard a man crying for help. The man was a woodcutter who had wandered deep into the forest in hopes of finding sandalwood, but had lost his way and was terrified. Moved by compassion, Silava approached the man, who initially thought the elephant meant him harm. But when Silava spoke gently, offering his help, the man realized the elephant was kind. The man told Silava that he was living in extreme poverty, which had driven him deep into the forest despite the risks of wild animals. Moved by compassion, Silava told the man to cut off a piece of each of his tusks, which he could sell to ease his dire financial situation. The man was reluctant to hurt the divine animal, but after Silava insisted, he cut a piece from both tusks. Silava then lifted the man and safely guided him out of the forest, showing him the way to his town. Grateful for Silava's help, the man thanked him and returned home. Shortly after, he went to the ivory market in his town and realized that elephant tusks could fetch a very high price. Silava's rare silvery tusks fetched the highest price, enough to lift him out of poverty. The man lived happily, but after a few months he realized the money would eventually run out and he would be poor again. He thought if he got more ivory from Silava, he could buy farmland and break the cycle of poverty. The next day, the man returned to the forest and called out to Silava. Silava, happy to see his friend, asked about his well-being. The man explained his situation and asked for more ivory. Silava let the man cut off his tusks again, leaving only the stumps. The man thanked Silava and returned to his town, selling the tusks for a good sum of money. He invested in farmland, but as his fortune grew, so did his expenditure. A few months later, driven by greed, he thought, why would Silava need the stumps? Elephants don't need tusks. Might as well take it all. The next day he returned to Silava, making up a sorry tale to convince him to give the remaining tusk stumps. The gentle elephant knew this would cause immense pain and bleeding, but cared for his friend's happiness more than his own well-being and agreed. The stumps were deep-rooted, and the man had to apply a lot of force to pull them off. After a lot of struggle, the stumps came off, but Silava was in immense pain and shortly succumbed to the ensuing pain and loss of blood. Realizing the gravity of his actions, the man was filled with remorse and guilt. He looked at the lifeless body of his gentle friend, who had helped without any expectation in return. His heart ached with unbearable guilt for what his greed had made him do, and sorrow for the loss of a true selfless friend. In the end, the man left the forest, not to return to the town with his ill-gotten gains, but to live a life of penance. He spent his days helping others, making amends for his actions by sharing his fortune and giving freely in charity, always carrying the memory of the kind elephant Silava in his heart. On the divine cosmic scale, Silava's selfless friendship and sacrifice were seen as great karmic merits, eventually leading to Buddha's enlightenment and gaining moksha from the karmic cycle. The story of Silava and the woodcutter teaches us that true friendship and kindness should never be exploited. Greed can destroy even the purest of bonds,